Yep, I twank the magic twanger, Froggy. So we doing this? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have to get out my handy dandy little notebook here because I wrote this down because it's the Webster's, or I don't know if it was Webster's, but it's the dictionary. Definition of what's going on here. It's so funny to look at my notebook. I'm a notebook packing guy and a pen packing guy, and I write stuff down, and then you go back and look through it, and I think, what the world was I thinking there? But anyway, here's the definition: trust. And trust. The reason I bring this up, there's so many horsemen, horse trainers, clinicians, blah 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 blah, video idiots like me that are talking about horses. That they say we're building a relationship based on trust and mutual trust and partnership or something like that. And that's great. That's wonderful. That's fine. But let's talk about what trust is and what we're doing with that. So, trust. To put extreme confidence in or to rely upon. That's the dictionary definition of trust. To put extreme confidence in or to rely upon. Okay, so part of my notes here, I'm going to kind of read off my notes, which I don't do very often. It's got to be weird for you guys. I can trust in a horse to act like a horse because I know horses. I've been around horses my whole life. I've spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours looking at horses, reading about horses, watching horses, being around horses, working with horses. I figured out how horses work. So I can trust in a horse to always behave like a horse. I said in the book that I wrote, I was told as a kid, a lot of those old guys would say, never trust a horse. And what they really meant was always trust a horse to act like a horse. They all kick, they all bite, they all strike. They all have the potential to hurt you, and trust them to act like a horse. So I can trust a horse to act like a horse. In the beginning stages of their relationship with us, so when we're starting them, when we're training them, etc., the horse can't necessarily trust me to act like a human because the horse doesn't know how a human acts. And we tend to have this theory in our head that, oh, when they're little babies and we grab them and rub on them and love on them, and that's fine, that's good stuff, that's all good things to do. I've got a new foal, and I grab on her and love on her and pet her and pick her feet up and do all that stuff too. But I'm not really. She's not quite learning how I act because I'm doing a different thing. I'm acting differently because she's there and I'm doing stuff specifically for her. So when they go to get started in those first 30, 60, 90, 120, however many days, that's when they're really learning how humans act and how to be around us and how we do things. So it's my job and your job, whether you're with the foal that you're rubbing and loving on, or whether you're doing groundwork for a colt that you're sending off to get started, or whether you're the one that's starting the horse, or whether you bought the horse from an auction and it's a rescue horse. There's all these a million different scenarios. It's your job and my job to teach that horse how I act, how humans act, so that way they're able to have confidence in us and able to trust us. So it's not the same kind of trust as, my brother borrows my pickup and my wallet and my credit card's in there. I trust him not to max out my credit card. That's a different kind of trust. That horse is trusting that I act a certain way, and so that he, the horse, can then depend on the fact that I'm always going to act that way. Always going to be that guy, always going to be in that position, always going to move like that. And that's really, really important. And that's what when we say that as a horseman you need to be consistent, that's the consistency that we're talking about, is giving the horse something that they can trust, that this is how you're going to be. Once Yeah, well, I already said that part. Once the horse figures that out, then they can start to have confidence in me and what I do, and then they can start to learn from me. So then when it comes to the next step and I actually get on them, they're confident that, oh, well, this is a different deal, but it's the same human that I trust, that I have confidence in, always has the right answer, always knows what's going on. That human's on my back now, but I'll bet he still always has the right answer. I'll bet he still always knows what's going on. And so that's the trust that we're looking for. That's the confidence that we're looking for. That is the consistency that we're looking for, is teaching a horse how a human acts. Bazinga.